A proposed ceasefire brokered for Syria is set to go into effect in a matter of hours. The deal is being sponsored by both Turkey and Russia. The two countries are on opposite sides of the conflict, but have reportedly agreed to work together to ensure that the truce holds up. Foreign correspondent Holly Williams is in Istanbul, and she joins us on the phone. Holly, what do we know about the terms of this proposed deal?
Well, we're still trying to piece that together, Vlad. We know that it's supposed to come into effect at midnight tonight local time. The deal, as you said, brokered by Russia and Turkey that are on opposite sides of the Syrian conflict. Russia launched a deadly air campaign around a year ago in support of the Syrian regime. Turkey has long backed the Syrian rebels. The Syrian regime has apparently agreed to this deal, and the main opposition umbrella group held a press conference today and also said that it had signed up. But there are dozens of different opposition groups in Syria. We've spoken to some of them who say that they have definitely not signed up to this deal. And we also have differing accounts coming from the Syrian regime, from Russia, and from that coalition opposition umbrella group as to who has actually signed up, which groups within the opposition are actually a party to this. That, of course, suggests confusion and a possible problem for this ceasefire deal even before it's due to start. Also remember that after more than 5 years of civil war in Syria, this is no longer a two-sided conflict between the opposition and the Syrian regime. ISIS is not a party to this deal, and nor is a Kurdish group that now controls swaths of land in Syria's northeast. So the US has said that this deal is a positive development, but certainly it does not suggest an end to the Syrian war at this point.
Yeah, and Holly, I mean, that's the question that a lot of people have. The Kurdish rebel group YPG is said to be one of the most effective forces in the fight against ISIS. So why aren't they included in this ceasefire?
Well, this was brokered by Russia and Turkey, and they have leverage over two particular groups in Syria. Russia has leverage over the Syrian regime because it's helped prop it up over the last 12 months or so, and Turkey has leverage over some Syrian opposition groups, and it's clear that Turkey and Russia would perhaps like to bring this conflict to an end. They don't have leverage over the YPG, that Kurdish group that you mentioned, and in fact, Turkey views them as terrorists.
Yeah, and that, I think, is going to be the question on a lot of people's minds who have been watching this conflict from afar, and for people like yourself who've been covering it, which is the designation of who is actually a terrorist and who is not, who's a rebel and who is not. So how is the Assad regime reacting to all of this?
Yeah, I think that's part of the confusion, is which under this agreement, which groups will be included and which groups are going to be considered to be terrorist groups. The Assad regime is saying that it's signed on, that it's agreed to this ceasefire deal. I think there are two questions, though. One is there are a whole lot of different militias that are fighting on the part of the Syrian government at this point. Many of them not Syrian. There are Iranian militias, Lebanese militias, Iraqi militias. Will they abide by this ceasefire? That remains to be seen. The other big question is about the future of Syria's president, Bashar al-Assad. The Syrian opposition has always held the position that there will be no peace in Syria as long as Bashar al-Assad is still in power. But so far, as far as we know, there's no mention of the future of Bashar al-Assad in this agreement.
All right, Holly Williams reporting for us in Istanbul. Holly, we thank you as always.